just wanted to stop in and give you another update. I figured I'd stay on top of things. I am still on my art vacation. It is Friday. Again, didn't do anything. That's not exactly true. I sat here and messed around with my color laser printer. I'll insert some of that because I actually filmed this out of sequence. So I'll insert here what I was discovering earlier. Well, I have been running my printer through, I don't know what you call it. I've been running it. I've been testing it. And I'm so disappointed, you guys. I think I'm going to have to send it back. Not happy, especially because even though I got free returns, what a pain in the butt. Don't know how it's going to have to go back. It's a 50-pound item. Anyway, let me show you. All right, so this is a copy of the card. I was talking about this before, that I had printed at the local print shop. I sell these. It needs to be good quality, okay? This is the print that came off of my printer. Now, at first glance, you say, oh yeah, hey, that's not bad, until you compare the two of them. And I'm sorry, but it's just, I don't think it's good enough. I mean, look at the detail in this one. The colors just aren't that great. The tree has so much more color going on it over there than it does over here. And then also here, I notice lots more going on right in there than is going on over there. I don't know. I'm just kind of torn. You know, now granted, I guess, I mean, I don't know. Oh, and then the roof here is a little bit more gray than it is there. I'm not sure it's even showing up, but in real life, that roof is a lot more blue than it is over here. And, I don't know. I don't even know. I might take it to my friend who has the art studio below me and see what she has to say. I had to increase the, is this the one? Yeah, this is the one. I had to increase the contrast in this one right there. Well, I was testing the contrast because this is the original contrast. I don't know. I mean, print-wise, it's okay. The one on the right there is a little bit darker, as you can tell, which is why I did the contrast on it. But it's not like the one on the left shows up any more detail or anything. And the colors here are a lot better than the colors on the right. Oh, jeez. I think that my next option to get what I want is like another $200. And I was kind of hoping, you're going to see a disaster over there, but I was kind of hoping when I got the scanner on top, that's why I did that, to have a 1-unit thing, because right now what I've got going on is I have a printer. It is a printer scanner, but I hate it. I got it during the pandemic when there was nothing available, because my printer, of course, picked then to die. I hate talking to you when I'm not looking at you. But so my printer died during the pandemic, and I got a new one, and I had no options. So the one that I had before, the scanner still worked, the printer just didn't work. So, and I really loved the scanner on it. So I actually have the printer that I use for printing occasional things. I don't print very much now that I have my Rollo printer for labels. And then I have the scanner on top. So I was hoping to actually get rid of the printer that I hate. And then, well, actually both of them, but I was going to kind of hang on to the one that I like for a while. I don't know. Guys, that's a huge item. I really hate having to return it, but I don't think it's good enough. I don't think it's going to work. Let me show you some of the other prints. I know I showed you in the last video, I showed you one of the prints. Let me show you some of the photo prints. Hold on. All right, so here is the one sheet that I did. And I'm not sure why it's just yellow on that upper left-hand side. Although, when I just now looked at the image, it looks like it's similar in the actual image. But I'm not sure that I like the quality. Now, this is just on straight paper. And when I did it, I thought this was adequate enough. That is adequate enough for me to use in my artwork, which is kind of what I was doing it from. So this is the actual, this is the digital image. Those are the girls on the top. Those are the girls on the top there. Come here. Hello. Why are you being so slow? And then there's the girls on the bottom. But see, you can see that there's a little bit of that yellow up on the top of her. You can't see the yellow on the side of that little girl like you can. I can see it. I don't know if you see it here, but definitely you can see it at the top of this one here. So, I don't know. I mean, I knew it wasn't good for photos and whatever, but I was really hoping that I would get better prints from this. Because, you know, I mean, if I'm gonna pay for this and I'm gonna pay for the toner, I'd like to be able to use it to make money. I mean, who wouldn't? It just, I don't know what to do about this. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to get rid of it. I can't. I just can't even. I don't know what to do. Yeah, actually, the truth is, I probably do know what to do. I just don't like it. So I did that. You can see a mess out there. I've been trying to resort the studio a little bit, pull out my Easter and my St. Patrick's Day and my Valentine's Day. I'm getting ready for a sale Wednesday on my other channel for Valentine's Day, so I had to get that ready. I have an extra sale on Tuesday. You got to prepare for. And then I had a lot of that stuff over there that you see on that counter. I had a viewer stop by yesterday and brought me a whole bunch of stuff, donated a whole bunch of stuff to the studio, and then brought me some stuff to look at for purchase. And I did buy a bunch of stuff from her. So that was very nice. That was fun to meet her and her daughter. I enjoyed that a lot. She brought me a lot of stuff I can use here for art and crafts, so that was fun as well. I am going to show you, I don't know why. I'm going to show you the disaster. I'm going to try to clean up a little bit. Tomorrow's Sunday. I'm going to take Sunday off. And then I'll be back in here Monday. And I've said this before. I'm going to try to make Monday an art day. The goal is, you know, with New Year's, everybody makes resolutions and whatever. I don't make resolutions. I do make goals, though. And my goal is, as it often is, to create art every day. And I can do it. I did it last year up until April when I had to go to Massachusetts to be with my daughter for surgery that she had. And it totally then threw me out of whack. But I did do it. It is possible. So I just have to discipline myself to do it. But that is the goal. That's one of the goals. I have a bunch of goals, of course. But anyway, Monday is going to hopefully be an art day. I did pick up some more art supplies today while I was out doing errands. I picked up some Tim Holtz crackle paste and distress texture paste as well. I don't think his name's on it. They're just Ranger Distress. So I picked those up. I picked up some giveaways for my other channel for Wednesday. But that's kind of what's going on now. Hang on, I'll show you what I did with the printer. All right, so you can't really tell here on my table is a disaster area, but I did clean off stuff and I moved the printer over there. Um, and from what you saw earlier, I'm not exactly sure I'm going to hang on to it. So we shall see. I'm going to tweak with my images a little bit more, see if I like the result. I'm going to talk to my artist friend, see what she thinks, and then we'll go from there. A lot to be happy about, but a lot to not be happy about. Checking in again. Today is Tuesday, and I have a sale tonight. Normally on sale days I come in a little bit later, but I did come in early today. I came in around 10 o'clock, so I've been doing art stuff. I have to get into the habit of doing it. So what I decided to do was to make swatches of the various paints and things that I got recently, and some other things that I've had for a while, just to kind of get an idea of what my materials were, you know, and sometimes just the act of putting paint on paper, it does something, you know, it kind of frees you up a little bit. So that's what I've been doing today. Here's all those beautiful distress oxide inks that I got, and then this is the Maya gold, and I kind of showed what the Maya gold looked like, kind of just splattered on. Interesting thing I found, I thought this was one of the few places where I actually noticed a difference in color from the oxide part of it. Of course, you have to use water in order to get that, but I didn't really see a whole lot of that. And then this is the distress oxide in the salty ocean, and this is the distress ink in the salty ocean, and I don't see much difference there. Same thing over here with distress ink pickled raspberry compared with the distress ink, or excuse me, distress oxide pickled raspberry. But this will be a nice, you know, reference to go back to. Did some of my other ones. That's distress ink vintage photo, but look at that, it almost looked like it had some oxide reaction there. This is a really old ink pad I had, antique linen. As you see, I say it was not very juicy. Same thing over here. Funny thing is, I don't know if somehow we got switched at a class I taught sometime or another, but this ink pad has a black soot cover to it, but it is actually tea dye. I didn't even know tea dye was part of the line. But again, it's old, not very juicy, but that's what I got out of that. And then I have the little guys, and these are all distress ink, and this is what I got out of those. This is a big one, crushed olive. Again, those are the distress inks. So I did that. Some of that I did yesterday, actually, to be honest with you. The golden fluid acrylics I was working on, and this is what I got today. So if you notice on their bottles, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but on the bottles there are some black lines across, and this is what they do to show you just how transparent or opaque the paint is. And so when I made my swatches, I decided to do something similar. I added some Sharpie lines down at the bottom so I could see just how opaque or not they were. All of them were translucent, except for the carbon black. And then I decided to show myself swatches of my gessos as well, because I have a thing. I want a gesso that is opaque. That is what I'm looking for. And this is the one that's easiest for me to get. And look at it. It's like, this is after one layer. It's like hardly covers it. This is Delta Ceram Coat. Yeah, did I say that right? This is a very cheap gesso, and it actually covers a little bit better. And I think with more than one coat, that's a pretty good one. My favorite one is Studio 71 Professional Acrylic Gesso. It covers the best, and with subsequent coats you can hardly see what's underneath of it. This particular gesso, they don't make it anymore, at least not that I'm aware of. This was made by the Derice company, and that was bought by Michaels, so unless Michaels is making gesso, I don't think that it's made anymore. So, yep. Today is Wednesday. I usually don't come into the studio until mid-afternoon, early to mid-afternoon, because I have a sale tonight. But I decided to come in early because I'm going to see if I can do some art. Right? I mean, that's the goal. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I brought from home and tell you a little bit more. All right, so I brought this whole big box from home. Not like I have all the space in the world to store it, but I did. This is a big bag of glitter. And many of you know, some of you might not know, I used to publish a magazine. It was called Altered Arts Magazine. And while I published that, I also did a subscription kit club. And a lot of this stuff was stuff that was sent as part of the subscription kit club. These were things that various companies put in the club, and it was a combined thing. I had a sponsorship thing where I did advertising in exchange for the sponsorship of items like this. And so they would send these things, and they would send extra for our design team so that the design team could create with them. And I was also a member of the design team, because I did things for the magazine from time to time. So I have still a lot of this stuff that was sent for the design team that was in the subscription kit club. I have not even checked to see if this company still exists. This stuff is really very old. So a lot of this stuff is, I'd say, 15 years old or more. You know, I don't think it goes bad. Some of the glues might have, you know, dried up or whatever, the stickles and things. But I don't think the rest of this goes bad. So I'm going to play around with this. I showed you that I got the, look at this, this is vintage stuff. I showed you that I got the embossing ink pads and the little embossing ink pen. So, you know, all fun things to use in artwork, just to play around and see what we can do. And make some fun art. So if you've been with me for a while, you've seen me do this before. This is my favorite way to create, and especially in a time like now where I just haven't been able to get motivated, I'll go back to the tried and true, something that I enjoy doing. It doesn't take a lot of thought on my part, and this way I will actually come up with 6 different pieces when I'm done. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I just basically laid down a background of torn paper, and then we'll go from here. What I do, I don't know, I might play around with my new oxide inks. I'm going to play around with the embossing powder, and you see what kind of interesting looks I can come up with. So this is interesting. I'm not sure if you guys can see it through the screen or not, but I used a makeup sponge to daub on here, and so it gave me like these little square spaces of embossing powder. Kind of interesting. I wonder what it would look like if I used like a sea sponge, because that was kind of the look that I was thinking I might get. But so far, it's fun to play. So I have some Dilutions ink sprays. I don't have any oxide sprays, and I have red, and I have whatever this color is, which probably would have gone with this. But the sprayers don't work. That drives me absolutely bonkers that the sprayers don't work. I have to look into seeing if I can buy new spray attachments to put on these, because I don't like that. I did buy these new. This one works, and so that's the yellow there. So I'm going to try that on top of the texture paste that I put down and see what that does. Alright, so this is where I'm at on this piece. I am going to cut it apart now because I want to put some stuff on it and try to flatten out the pages a little bit. And then I think tomorrow I will print off some images and go from there, see what else I come up with. I'm enjoying this. This texture paste with the embossing powder on it, I think looks really good. I think it came out very interesting. And you didn't see, I did it off camera, but I took that those embossing pens that I showed in that haul the other day, and I just put a couple of marks on there. I used the regular embossing ink pad for these marks here. But yeah, I'm real happy with how that turned out. So it'll be interesting to see what the actual finished pieces look like. Alright, let me share with you what I got finished today. I'm really happy with the results here. So I got 6 different cards done, 6 different collages, and I actually might just finish these off, finish the edges, mount them, and let that be it. It's always my nature to want to throw an image on here and a word, some sort of a sentiment, but I don't know that I have to do that. So I'm debating that. Anyway, there's this one. Look at how I love the embossing powder, and I love how the embossing powder reacted with the texture paste. I think that's a really, really cool look. Very happy with that. This is the next one. And if I do mount them, I probably do them vertical. It's the way I usually do them. But yeah, like that. Where's this one? So I'm happy I got to play around with a lot of the things that I just recently purchased. That's always fun. You know, and then I pulled out some stuff that I've had for a long time and played with that. It's always nice to use up things you have. Like this one. I'm not sure which one is my favorite, actually. I kind of like them all. But I am going to put them under some, excuse me, under some heavy books overnight and see if I can't flatten them out a little bit. It'll make it easier to mount as well. But yeah. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and stop for today. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I think I'm planning on doing a series, and you should probably hear more about that next week. And I hope that you will continue to join me. If you like this sort of thing, tell a friend. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. It's probably the most important thing outside of giving the thumbs up. And a comment can be anything, you guys. You can leave me an emoji. You can even leave me punctuation. It would make me very happy. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.